Fun fact, did you know that to furnish a house here in Kenya is equal to buying maybe 1 car or 2 cars? Is equivalent to traveling to like 5 to 6 countries. Like, I've been doing the maths and I was like, you know what, let's sit down and have a little chit chat about the real cost of living or cost of furnishing a house in relation to living here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Lakini hii ofa ni mzuri.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Queen Desta and I'm excited for us to dive into today's topic because I feel it's one of the least talked about topics here in the internet world, and I thought from my experience I should share with you guys this perspective, you know, the cost of living here in Kenya, but on the basis of furnishing a house. Being a traveler for most of my life, I was able to hack life and be able to do life without necessarily needing to furnish a house or, you know, like buy these things that you need in order to have like a comfortable life in your house, basically, because I was always on the road. That I disregarded on how money can pile up or how expensive it can get. Truth be told, different seasons call for different life measures. A good example is me traveling. I didn't need all these investments in terms of where to stay and all these furnitures and stuff like this. A good example is when I was living in Ethiopia. As you can see, I used to have like a simple, not much invested on things, at least because they won't last for a long time. And even like those things that I purchased, I already purchased them with like a strategy of what those things were gonna happen to, what was gonna happen to those things when I leave like the country, you know. On that note, I would want to also say, based on my experience in quote unquote living in different countries, I would say the cost of buying things, which entails like furnishing house in this case, it gets more expensive for countries that do not have an ocean and cannot import their own things and have to pass through another country in order to bring these things inside. This is because of the taxation and all this. Thus, I'm excited to take you through my journey of furnishing here in Kenya. If you're planning a makeover or you're planning to move or start life all together, like for example me getting married and therefore has to start life, this is the right place. And for that, please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know in your country what is the cost of furnishing a house. And without further ado, let's get into this discussion. Also, stick around as I will show you in the course of the video the difference between a bachelor cost of living and homely cost of living. Understanding your space is the most crucial thing in being able to define what you need for furnishing your house, what are your important things, and what do you need to buy, and what can you actually live without. And I'm taking you through my journey so you can understand what space we are furnishing and see how much it would cost for that. First video since the move. So welcome to our house. This is how everything looks. I hope you will approve that I need that TV. Ha ha ha. Sleep talking about the TV, wake up talking about the TV. Anyway, I'm so tired that I didn't even get time to go see if I'll get that TV. If it goes well and good, don't pressure about where I'm spending my money. Here is the room tour. So as you come in, we have the couch. We have, okay, let's do this. We have the couch. We have the carpet. We have the imaginary TV over there. We have the very up-to-date modern kind of dining situation going there. This is our art, as you can see. Curtains are well installed perfectly. Of course, you know I'm joking. Okay, the kitchen. These are kitchen things that were put in bags and more bags, and in this that are yet to be unpacked. That is the current gas that works, and a table. We are yet to transfer things there. Nothing happened over there. Then this, I have a holder. This can act as my temporal toothbrush holder. Just put a toothbrush here. Anyway, toilet still the same, nothing new. Maybe I should put tissue. Then these are more toilet things. Okay, maybe that's not, but the basins and stuff, we'll figure out where to put them. We don't need them anymore. This is the room. So I decided to put this bed in the second room because in the master bedroom is where I'm looking to get the bed sooner. So you yeah, I don't want the transfer business to be happening, so it's better this one to stay here. And I think even for now, you shouldn't have stayed at the corner because it leaves all this other space and it looks just funny. But anyway, bags and clothes. This is the other room. It's so funny that I feel like our room is smaller compared to the other room, but it's still fine. We'll stay together. So that's a mattress that I've put on the floor. We had this extra mattress that we used to use for sitting and sleeping if there was an extra person. And then that's the suitcase. Thank you very much, because you knew I'm gonna be moving, so that came in very handy. Then I need to unpack, and I have a duvet that I will use only when I get a bed. Haha. When you're furnishing a house, you need essentials. Like for me, it was a sofa, a bed, and comfortable bed for that matter, and a cooking situation, as well as I was tired of hand washing clothes. I really needed a washing machine. And also this I liked to put in my basic, a big screen, and I'll tell you this story. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, maybe I should. I wanted a big TV so I can watch myself and entertain myself and correct myself and see how people see me as they are, watching me, basically. Well, that's one of the part. Anyway, so those are basically what someone needs in a house, but the most important thing is a place to sleep. So I went to look for beds. So there's different places that you can find beds and all these things based on different prices and price points. And some of the places that I did research was online. Like there was a lot of TikTok videos that were showing where you can get like house furnishing things. Big disclaimer, there was also a lot of scam when it came to like online in relation to finding this furniture, especially if you find something good and you're like deposit and you're gonna get, and the item will be delivered to you. So the worst thing is if you really don't have time to go and check this thing, pay after delivery, or just try delegate someone to go check out this furniture and save your money. Anyway, I got a chance to go see what the TikTok page was selling, and unfortunately, based on my experience, it was not the exact same things that were on TikTok. Not bad things, just not my preference. So that took me to the next place to look for bed things. Has to be like these big brands that sell comfortable mattresses and comfortable beds. Let me tell you the price points, because this video is about the cost of living. God caught me by surprise, and it's at this point that I wish I was saying of brands that I'm working with in relation to furnishing my house, but yeah, it is what it is. But it ranges from like to get a good bed and a good mattress. This is my experience at Sarit when I went to check like this Sleep Night and those furnitures, Ashley Furnitures kind of experience. Ever had the phrase money talks? This was actually the concept, because things range from $300, let's say on average, to like 1,000 USD to purchase maybe a mattress, or even to purchase a mattress and a bed, depending on what you conclude on. But for you to purchase here anything, you have to have, let's say, averagely $600 to get a mattress and a bed. So on the same note, I have to say there were other cheaper places to get furniture, which is actually where I ended up getting like my TV stand and the kitchen counter, which is like I went to different like locations, places that just locals are hand making these things, and I really got like a good deal. So also those are options that you can take. There's also like as you're driving along like Ngong Road, you'll be able to see like furnitures on your way, and you can decide to stop. But this is the range price. It goes without saying that depending on what kind of couch or what kind of furniture you want, it will have a different price point. But unfortunately, sometimes you could be forced, maybe because of budgets and stuff like this, to get maybe whatever you necessarily didn't want, or have to delay. Anyway, the price point for couches ranged from $300 to 1,000 USD, depending on what you actually wanted, the number of seats and stuff like this. When it comes to electronics, this is where it becomes interesting. And the interesting thing, I had a point of comparing between the cost of, let's say, TV, fridge, microwave, cooker, washing machine, this electronic kind of things with America, so that we would know, because if it is possible we import, if that's a better option, or just buying. Now, the interesting thing, this thing can go as cheap as, you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna go for the cheapest brand, I'm gonna go for the, but then, for example, one example that I found was I could buy do I remember let's say Skyworth TV, and then I was told that it is only gonna last for like 2 or 3 years. So the price of like a Skyworth TV, maybe let's say 75-inch, was maybe the same price compared to a Samsung 45-inch, you know. So it could be tempting to be like, you know what, let's compromise on quality, let's compromise on some factors. And a good other example would be like the fridge. Some of the important factors that I got to learn about the fridge is the number of stars that are on the inverter, like to regulate the amount of electricity that you know that you consume, because now that's a recurring expense, and that makes the fridge or the gadget more expensive because of how much it's gonna save you. So there was a lot of back and forth on deciding what is a better option, what brand is good, what do I need necessarily, and all these things could be different, and therefore I'm gonna give you like a small price point of some of the differences that I got to see.
The difference? Yeah.
You just need to be sure that it's heated both sides.
Normally niliona online.
So nataka
Taki one star. Hii ni how many liters?
this is not expensive. Now it's 51K.
Before the end of this video, I'll give you an Excel sheet that will give you a breakdown of individual prices of these things, maybe on an average point. The interesting thing is, go with people that have purchased things, have knowledge, can guide you, because you can really get confused when everyone's telling you like all these different brands and you're being told different things. You might need someone to consult with and to help you like make a right decision, because you don't want to be throwing your money right, left and center. Unless you've really like done your research, then you're good to go and you already know what you want. Okay, now the other thing has to be now also, after a long day of working, running from one mall to the other, like comparing prices, comparing what they're offering and all this, we need to have some lunch. So let's go eat at least so we can take a break. Remember, these are some of the miscellaneous, which is the next point you're going to be talking about, that you have to remember as you're thinking about furnishing your house. Kitchen cutlery. This is another interesting one. Yeah, you know, like ignorance is bliss, my friend. You know how I've been traveling around the world reviewing people's cups and spoons and stuff like this, and be like, okay, this is that, this is the other, until it was time for me to be like, okay, buy your own cups, buy your own spoons, let's see what you buy your own pots. So here in Kenya, there's a hack. Let's call it a hack, where you go to like the wholesale places that they sell these factors, or not these factors, these things, and you'll be able to find like quite affordable or cheaper compared to if you go to like malls or if you go to supermarkets. Well, let me know how your experience has been. So I went to Eastleigh and purchased like the cooking pots, the cups, dishes, you know, like all electrical and kitchen appliances, and tell me how I was spending more than 100,000 Kenya shillings. Like I was like, woo, woo. Oh my goodness. So anyway, it's interesting, but also maybe it's depending on the taste that one has. But I feel like there's also like less expensive things, like if you, let's say you want to do plastic, or you want to do the normal things that people do, stuff like this. Anyway, as I said, ignorance is bliss. Now we appreciate more the people that we find can afford one spoon in their life, you know. So now you have furniture, you have utensils, you have electronics. One thing that is another of major importance in a house has to be like your decor, your lighting, all these things that you could still live life, but you're not in a comfortable like place. I just turned around and remembered, guys, I didn't take a minute to talk about the curtains. Like, these are some of the things that shook me on how much price can be. Like, you go to, like, I also went to Italy to get curtains, yeah, and you do one lane and they tell you, okay, they tell you to sit down, and then they have like these prices. Oh my god, you should just, if you've never experienced buying curtains in Italy, you should definitely put it in your to-do list, because of how also things get so crazy. You go there thinking, oh, it's just a curtain, you know, like it's this size, and then they're like, do you want it with gathers? And then every gather is like 400 shillings, something like this, and then they keep calculating more price like this. And for you to get like curtains for just a living room, you've spent like 20,000 Kenya shillings. I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, maybe I need to work harder and stop complaining about this money. But I had a whole spreadsheet about my average of the cost that I spent on furnishing all these things that I'm gonna link for you here, and then you can go through and see. Let me compare for me with prices in your country. I'll be happy to see how different is it between other countries. Like even Uganda, you know, I would find like maybe curtains is cheaper in Uganda. I'll be like, you know what, I'm going on a trip to Uganda, I'm just gonna make my curtains there. Or things like art, or things like, you know, lightings. Anyway, that leads me to other factors that you really need to consider when you're talking about the cost and how you can also minimize your cost. I found this DIY, all thanks to my husband to be, because he was doing all kind of handy works and saving me the labor cost. Before he came, the main point for me was doing everything. Guys, I look at I'm in the house, and I didn't talk about things like the carpet. So in that spreadsheet, you'll see all the breakdown in terms of costs of everything that you need to furnish a house here in Kenya. And according to an estimate that I've done, it's equivalent to 10,000 USD to furnish a house. There you go. So what I was saying is, you can save your money by getting DIYs, by being the one to like do some of the labor works and not necessarily getting people to do it. And some of other things that you have to consider when you're furnishing your house is transportation, like the transportation of those things that you're buying to your house. How are they going to be delivered? You find in some places they do free delivery. You find in others that they do that you have to pay for it to be delivered. And on that note, it reminds me I have to talk about our online applications, which was like my first to go to place. If you're looking to get to furnish your place, you can go on Jumia or Kilimall and just search whatever items that you want, get an idea of how much they are, and you'll be able to see an average, you know, like a good comparison point. Most important thing I have to say is, the tastier, the juicier, the more sweet, the more luxurious you want your life to be, the more you have to enjoy spending more money. This whole furnishing story, according to me, could go up to anywhere beyond 20,000, 30,000, because I did see some beds that were like 1,000 USD for me to sleep. I'm like, oh my god, I became the queen that I keep thinking I am. Anyway, I'm not here to rant. I'm just here to give you a breakdown of how much you need to furnish a house, and that was based on my experience. And I hope you got an insight. In all honesty, I am not done furnishing the house, because as you can see, I finally discovered that I want some more fancy things, like a very, very beautiful, comfy couch. Anyway, on that note, I'm just here to say, if you have any more hacks that you would share with the baby girl here, if you have any more ideas or any way you can help us improve on how we are furnishing and how we are living, especially for those who've done this for a long time, I'd be happy to hear your contribution on this matter. There you have it, a rough breakdown of cost of living here in Kenya, furnishing house edition. I promise to compare prices between a bachelorette house, to mean a surviving individual, in comparison to a family comfortable place. And I'd say with 100,000 Kenya shillings, you should be able to get like an affordable bed. Let's even say cheap bed, cheap mattress, a gas, a seat, couch, or whatever you sit, and a table to work on, and a seat. In comparison to a fully furnished house, you need like more than 10,000 USD to be able to live a comfortable environment. So the comparison is 1,000 USD to 10,000 USD. And my perfect example of my bachelorette days is my stay in Ethiopia. Remember, these are just estimates. Price can rise, vary, change. Inflation is happening in Kenya at a very high rate. The dollar is continuing to gain. As of the filming of this video, it's at like 157, something like this. 1 Kenya shillings is equivalent to 157. So that means things can really get different, or based on how you look at it, things can get cheaper. But I cannot wait to one day I'll be able to complete furnishing, and I'll be able to show you some of these things, and how maybe one day we can do a full house tour when we get the whole house into a place that I'm happy to show you basically. Anyway, for now, I am happy to say that we have made progress, and we continue to do our best to bring this home to our dream home. Anyway, on that note, I also want to remind you, please remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed, and let me know if you have any other further questions that I could address based on my experience and living here in Kenya. I'll be happy to share with you. Anyway, I hope you found some help on this video, and I will see you on the next one. Always remember to create time for that which ignites your soul. Until next time, bye for now.